What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. Guys, in today's video, we want to talk about the serious issue of comparing the old government and the new government, the good things and the bad things, and if whether the old system is better than the new system. A lot of people think that the old system is way better than the new system. What do you think about this topic? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we're family, right? Holla. Okay, disclaimer. In no way is this video intended to cause any racial divide or anything like that, right? It's just purely meant for educational purposes and purely for debate. So don't come at me in the comments trying to tell me I'm trying to stir up anything because I am not. We are just trying to see where things have gone wrong and where things have gotten better. That's all this video is intended to be, right? So without much further ado, let's get into the video. You know how we do. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holla. Okay. For some reason, I forgot my, what's it called? A recording stick. Yeah, there's a name for it. I don't know what's the name. So now I'm using hands, full hands to record and hold my phone and to place it on somewhere. Yeah, we'll see how it progresses. But anyway, so people, anyway, the thing I want to talk about most is the systems of government. Now, I'm not talking about the atrocities. I'm not talking about, no. We're just talking about governance, just systems of governance. That's all we're talking about. The systems that either worked or didn't work, or that are working or that are no longer working. Systems. We are not talking about the actions of government and brutality. We all know about the budget. We don't have to go back and open old wounds. We don't have to do that. Now let's just talk about systems and where the government has gone wrong and where the current government has got it right or whatever, right? So let's start. First thing, service deliveries, right? Things seemed to work in the older budget, right? We all know that. Service houses were built. I mean, the majority of the houses that are standing in South Africa today were built during the apartheid era, right? The majority of Soweto was built during the apartheid era. The majority of Kailicha, the majority of Mitchell's Plain, the majority of Phoenix in Durban or Chatsworth were built in the apartheid government, right? Okay, that worked. Okay, the borders, the borders, the borders worked during apartheid, right? Today, the borders are virtually non-existent. Okay. Um, crime. Crime was much lower during apartheid because the police system worked, right? The police now are overwhelmed. Okay. Criminal activity was reduced to certain crimes, like maybe your house breakings or your here and there car hijackings, maybe here and there bank robberies. Certain crimes, were being committed. But the crimes now, wow, are beyond even what South Africans comprehend. We didn't even know that certain crimes existed until the ANC government took over, right? Okay. The, the SOEs, right? State owned enterprises, government departments. I mean, they work They were efficient. Sadly, those today are non-existent. I don't even know if I don't even know if it's even, dude. There's Home Affairs. There's a SARS department. Dude, I don't even know. Clinics, hospitals. I mean, I don't want to sound bad, sound ungrateful, but just the levels of service, the unprofessionalism, it's almost like that has now become the code of conduct in the government departments. Guys, that I'm not saying nothing works, but things just either don't work the way they used to, or things just stopped working, or things are slowly grinding to a halt. Okay, let's look at the electricity supply. Thank God there hasn't been load shedding in a while now, you know. But in the olden days, I mean, load shedding was something of the past. In the old days, people died of old age, whereas nowadays, people are dying before they even turn 5, 10, or 18, or 21. Gang violence was there. Gangs were there in the 80s. They even started in the 80s, actually. But it wasn't to the levels it is now. I mean, you would think with progression, certain things would be in regression. They're regressing, but certain things seem to progress as much as the system and the country is progressing. They're also progressing too. I mean, let's look at rhino poaching. It's through the roof. I mean, it's not even a good sight going on a safari and seeing a rhino without horns anymore. It's just not the same. Really, just not the same. I mean, the influx of foreigners, dude, is beyond overwhelming. In the old days, that wasn't an issue. You could count the number of foreigners you would see, right? And it's shocking that now, especially in the area where I live, you can count the number of locals that you can see. No, Belleville, that's gone. Belleville, if you're in Cape Town and you know an area called Belleville, you already know that's gone. Belleville is not even part of South Africa anymore. We can we we've ceded Belleville. Belleville is gone. It's no longer part of South Africa, so that's one thing we have to accept now. Hillbrow is gone. We can no longer talk about Hillbrow as being part of South Africa. Sunnyside in Pretoria is gone. We can no longer talk about Sunnyside in Pretoria as being part of South Africa, right? So the question comes again: Is South Africa working? Was South Africa working? If not, where and how did things go wrong, right? And are there any solutions to fix this? That's what we get into next, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we're family, right? Hello. The pros, right, between the old system and the new system. The pros of the old system: everything worked, everything ran smoothly, prices were cheap, services were rendered, electricity supply was stable, everything just seemed to run smoothly. Now, I'm not sure if it's because it was an only one party state type of a government, or is it because it was mainly business people who were closely related to the political elite that made sure that everything worked. So, because they were the ones actually helping the government run the country? Or is it because it was a small group of people that could control everything from a small central point? That's why things worked. I'm not quite sure of that, right? Okay, that was back in the day. The cons of today's is like now we have more integrated societies. There's an influx of goods and services now. There's an influx of foreigners now. There's multiculturals now. There's multi parties now. What else? The country's open for business to everybody now. Exports are allowed to go anywhere and everywhere now. We are part of the global village now. What else? So yeah, I mean, we even get to be the head of the G20. I mean, no, that's an honor. That was never allowed in the previous government. So that's a big achievement. Trust you, me. I know that for a fact, right? May not be much, but hey, it's something, right? So the pros of the pros the pros of today's government seem to not match up to the pros of the previous government, because for some reason the apartheid government was a well-oiled machine. It just seemed to be efficient on all levels. It didn't matter whether it was in the military, whether it was the policing, whether it was the service delivery, whether it was product delivery, whether it was food, agriculture, you name it, everything just seemed to work efficiently, right? And when you look at the pros of today's government, inclusivity is the main thing that they're pushing, but the things are just different on a different level. I'm not sure if they focus as obviously it's two different governments, two different systems, two different types of people. And I'm not sure if their priorities, well, it's not to say I'm not sure. It's actually clear that the priorities of the previous government are not the priorities of the current government, right? So the current government seems to be more focused on being a renaissance type of a government, an all inclusive type of a government, an African government, if you know what I mean. They just don't want to be a South African government. They want to be more of an African government, which is something totally different. So both sides have pros and cons, right? And the pros of today's government just seem to be more aligned to Africa's needs than they are towards South Africa's needs. Maybe I could be wrong on that. Whereas the old government, their needs were strictly for South Africa because they were not even allowed to be entertained outside of the South African borders, right? Because of the laws that restricted them. Yeah. So that's the pros, right? Next, we get into the cons. You know how we do. Holla. The cons of today's government and of the previous government. The previous government was so restrictive, right? They functioned in such a way that there's almost no cons, right? Because everything seemed to work. I mean, every area seemed to be self sufficient. Every area seemed to be developing at a rapid pace, right? In accordance to the growth projections of which the government of the day had planned, right? But because it was limited, growth in certain areas, right, was accelerated, while in other areas it was limited, right? Due to space and planning, and obviously they didn't plan much for the outer lying areas, right? For the black and colored areas and the Indian areas, right? But the services were there, the conditions were there, you know, prices. I mean, it's like people are just unhappy with not being allowed to travel wherever they wanted to travel. You could just see from afar. And so the party government the cons almost seemed non-existent outside of the brutality. The brutality, that's what we all know, and that was a big, big con. But outside of the brutality, if you take the brutality away and the killings and all that political, you know, mess and everything that, you know, it's hard to find a con because the roads worked. I mean, there's no potholes or limited potholes. The electricity department worked, the hospitals functioned, everything. No one seems to have anything bad to say on a negative point other than the police brutality, the government, just the whole racist aspect of it. But if you take that away, people can hardly talk about expensive lifestyle. It's just hard to find a con that you could place on that government of the day. Now we come to the government of today. Oh my goodness. There seems to be more cons than pros. I mean, potholes are the order of the day. Recently, electricity came back, right? But for 16 years, close to 17 years, electricity was the norm. Non electricity was the norm. I mean, come on. That is just something you couldn't escape. And it's something that we all know that is a reality, that's what happened and we can't escape it, right? Prices are through the roof. Corruption, gee whiz, nepotism, job losses. Dude, it's like the new government or the new dispensation came with a new rule book of how to destroy a country. Not to say that there's nothing good happening. Trust me, there is a lot of good happening. But the bad outweighs the good. And then you begin to ask yourself, was apartheid really that bad? Was it really that bad? Outside, obviously, of the brutality and the racism, and outside of that, we're just talking about systems that work. The systems, service delivery systems, the accounting systems, the accountability systems, the protection systems, the border systems. Systems. We're talking about systems. You know what I mean? Systems that are put in place for a country to function. Was apartheid systems that bad? Were they bad? Was the country functioning or not? Because now there's no apartheid, there's no racism. We are not isolated, and things just seem to be failing as if we have a trade embargo placed on us. It's like South Africa has been isolated, and yet we are not isolated at all. But for some reason, things are not functioning. Things are falling apart, as if nobody wants to trade with South Africa anymore. You just don't understand. The amount of money is being stolen. It's unbelievable. Capital flight out of the country is at a record high. I mean, how do you allow foreign citizens to come and take over the government, to run a shadow government, thereby depleting government coffers? People coming in and even selecting ministers on behalf of the president. People even ordering a president how to run a country, what to do and what not to do. People even summoning a president to their residence. What kind of system is that? What kind of system is that? Guys, let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Do you guys think that the apartheid system of government or the current system of government is better? Which one do you think worked? Which one do you think was worse? Which one do you think? And you can let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holla.